Cecelia Hagen is a longtime Eugene resident and fan and patron of Tsunami Books. When she's not reading, she's hiking Mount Pisgah or dancing tango, and doing things with her grandkids. Her book, Entering, Airly Press, and chapbook, among others, Trap Rock Books, are often available at the bookstore. Let's have a hand for Cecelia.
Thank you, Scott. It's a real pleasure to be in this book. So nice to be invited to be in a publication instead of, getting slapped down over and over. All part of the writing life. So I have 2 poems in here. I'll start by reading those. Yeah, they're short. This one's called Shell Game. I don't want to aim for wisdom in a poem. That's dangerous. Worse even than a branch that's broken and hanging loose. An open upstairs window with no screen. A girl who walks on a dark street at a dangerous hour and refuses to go home. Guessing games are my specialty, though I lose when I play with kids because I let them win. Maybe I'm wrong to behave this way. Life is only kind, only part of the time. Still, what harm in a little sweetness? But now it sounds like wisdom is wedging in, when all I really want is to unscramble an egg, scoop its wet jelly back into the jagged pieces of shell, then reunite them, hold that smooth perfection in my palm, hand it over to someone. We need to take a movie and do it backwards, of cracking an egg. And this second poem in here, Love Song for a Long Marriage, Craig, my husband, when he read it, he said, I have one question. What's sriracha? so in case you don't know, I'm not even sure. It's some kind of sauce. Am I saying it right? Okay. He had one question. I'm like, uh-oh. So, Love Song for a Long Marriage. My twinkle lights hanging from your gutter of leaves. My spiny stems, your silk flowers. My crooked stack of books, the open tome nestled on your lap. My stars, your moon, suspended in a sunlit sky, like a shy giant in a children's story. My stars hidden then. Your stretched out sweatshirt, my box of buttons. Your rice, my beans, always my beans. You rise, I swirl, I cinnamon, you sriracha, dance alone, not always alone. The shadows slipping out of your pencil, my ink spilling and stopping. My cork bark, your smooth sides. Your Alhambra, my wooden pew. Your blood rage, my blue. We are multi-marrieds, as my friend, who is also a multi-married, likes to say. But we've never been married this long before to anyone. So it's kind of, it's a win. Yeah, we're sticking with it. I have 2 poems I'm going to read. This one's called Bunny. I liked my first serious boyfriend in part because one of his sisters was named Bunny. His house had 6 white columns in front and the Lafayette River in back. One upstairs bedroom was called the dormitory. 5 twin beds lay side by side, all facing east. The oldest brother was a trumpeter. At a concert in a former church, 9 insects crawled across a projected grid while 9 musicians played assigned phrases whenever a bug moved into their square. In the 70s. A few years before we met, the boyfriend had conquered his stutter, but once in a while it surfaced, most often when the subject of his mother came up, his mother with her 7 children, her history of weaving around on the lawn in her nightie as the school bus pulled away. His father, of course, was wary of me, my broken home, its lack of pillars. He was the first to arrive at the hospital after an ambulance brought me there for treatment of the concussion caused by the car crash, which was not his son's fault. "It's just a bump on the head," he said, leaning over me without any prior introduction. They'd scissored off my sweater to see if the blood came from anywhere besides my scalp. The stain of it was scattered, a pattern of damage that we both knew would never come out. Mr. Battaglia. Did meet someone at the hospital. And this is a new poem, factoid. If you were old enough and you lived on the East Coast, when the astronauts would come back from their mission, they would splash down in a little capsule that had parachutes. And they'd fall into the ocean and a ship would go pick them up. I know, so old-fashioned. And I grew up in Norfolk, Virginia, and everybody's dad was in the Navy. Almost everybody. So this is called Splashdown. Almost every time an astronaut made the splashdown in his capsule, a classmate's dad would be on the ship that picked him up. A TV set would be rolled into the classroom on a cart so we could watch the astronaut who had just fallen from the sky as he appeared grinning but helpless in his silver suit, limbs gone limp from weightlessness, from the rattling takeoff and the spell of solitude. To study science further, we dissected chicken thighs at our desks, smelling blood in the ink-dark veins. Janice, seated next to me, was an expert at cutting through things. On my other side sat Steve, whose dead mother got him an invitation to the submarine tour, for which I was also chosen. I remember treading the trembling bridge between ships, Sister Marie striding in her long habit in front of me, as if oblivious to the scandal of the oily water below. Halfway through the tour, I figured out that our group was united by deprivation, though our deprivations were of different kinds. In the mess deck, the sailors served us big bowls of ice cream and handed each of us a bag of oranges as we left. In their eyes, I could see the way they pictured our houses, hollow, drifting places where they would feel at home. Thank you.